In high-level intelligence operations, the official narrative functions as a synthetic reality, a self-consistent structure designed to look permanent while hiding the underlying truth. State-sponsored actors secure high-value assets by building alternative histories from the ground up, bypassing the need for simple physical disguises. These constructed personas rely on a massive weight of official documentation. Social security numbers, tax records, and medical histories are generated to enforce compliance with the new identity. Penetrating this level of performative deception requires a specific analytical framework, structural skepticism. One must assume that documented surface is a calculated diversion. Intelligence operations use the official narrative to generate plausible deniability. Bureaucratic truth is manufactured to take precedence over physical reality. Breaking a synthetic reality requires an investigator to look past the paperwork and map immutable physical anomalies. The structural comparison of maritime blueprints and human facial topography utilizes the same analytical methodology. The contemporary investigation into Jeffrey Epstein centers on the geometric structure of his face and ears, biometric data exceptionally difficult to replicate. We see this focus in the theory that the Titanic and Olympic were swapped. The investigation targets the structural profile of a colossal physical asset. In both the human and maritime domains, the methodology of deception remains the same. A paper trail is manufactured and weaponized to overwrite physical discrepancies. The analyst's task is to identify the physical seams where the manufactured documentation fails to align with the evidence left behind. Consider how an alias functions strategically today. A moniker like Palm Beach Pete operates as a tactical boundary, setting rules for public engagement. Insisting on an alias creates a psychological barrier. It prevents researchers from using standard legal names to query background histories and previous activities. High-profile figures connected to the case often maintain a tactical silence regarding a target status, providing no validation or denial to the public. This silence is an active operational choice. It protects the official version of events, ensuring it is never challenged by verifiable insider data. Meanwhile, an echo chamber develops. Followers adopt the alias and repeat the sanctioned narrative, effectively neutralizing critical thinking. An alias weaponizes the boundaries of an identity, establishing a rigid wall of plausible deniability that is difficult for outsiders to breach. We can observe these same logistical boundaries in the maritime industry. The theory that the RMS Olympic and Titanic were swapped relies on deconstructing a massive insurance cover-up. Mainstream researchers rely on the officially documented narrative of the wreckage, which aligns with the White Star Line's records. Structural skeptics bypass this official story by pointing to yard numbers stamped into the hull during production, 400 for the Olympic and 401 for the Titanic. Individual interior fittings throughout the ships carry these distinct stamps. Finding mismatched numbers within the wreckage presents a direct contradiction to the official identity. However, inventory records show that parts were transferred between the sister ships following a collision. This logistical transfer provides a plausible explanation for any physical discrepancies found later. A skilled operation uses these maintenance records to create a self-consistent audit trail. By the time an investigation begins, the cover-up is already integrated into the official reality. To bypass a crafted paper trail, an analyst looks past the paperwork, focusing on unforgettable biometric markers. Human ear geometry is unique. In intelligence analysis, specific ridges and topographical markers function as an unfakeable fingerprint. Similarly, lower dental alignment offers an immutable physiological metric. Surface-level aliases cannot obscure these rigid physical data points. Searching for these biometric markers is identical to the search for an intelligence microdot. Both require isolating massive amounts of data hidden in plain sight. A microdot compresses a full page of data into a microscopic square, making it invisible to the casual observer without extreme magnification. Finding a biometric seam works the same way. You must magnify a tiny physical anomaly until it invalidates the entire macro narrative surrounding the target. Operating in a prolonged detector mode against these fabrications generates severe cognitive dissonance. The constant analytical filtering of lies begins to exhaust the investigator. When the analytical brain spends too long deconstructing fabrications, it can lose its baseline. To compensate, the subconscious mind scans for an unfakeable ground truth to recalibrate the investigator's sense of reality. This neuroanatomical cross-section highlights the olfactory ping, a visceral scent cutting through investigative noise as a sanity check. The anatomy of scent is unique. Olfactory signals bypass the thalamus, routing directly into the olfactory bulb. This connects instantly to the amygdala and hippocampus, creating a powerful emotional anchor to a real-world experience. These sensory pings act as unfakeable verifications of reality. They provide a biological reset when the analytical mind is overwhelmed by performative deceptions. Intelligence agencies rely on the general public's willingness to dismiss bizarre anomalies as mere coincidences. This dismissal protects the integrity of the synthetic reality. Structural skepticism is the deliberate refusal of coincidence. It requires an analyst to treat every anomaly as a purposeful data point in a larger cover-up. This visualization maps the clash within an analyst's mind, the conflict between the manufactured document, the immutable biometric truth, and the localized sensory reality. When physiological evidence and internal sensory data align, the manufactured paper trail immediately loses its structural integrity. Official records function as cover material, engineered to enforce public compliance rather than document historical facts. Surviving a high-noise information environment requires combining forensic physical mapping with a strict trust in your own internal sensory pings. This combination of external magnification and internal anchoring allows an investigator to deconstruct a synthetic identity by finding its hidden seams. Adopting this level awareness means permanently abandoning the comfort and predictability of the sanctioned macro narrative. Objective truth is found in the micro-anomalies, the specific points where the state-sponsored narrative fails to meet physical reality.